Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we're going to be talking about desks. I know that's not normally what we talk about here on this channel, but I'm getting a new desk, and honestly my desk is a very important part of the channel because it's where I film my reviews, and I take a lot of pride in creating a little set for my reviews. You guys will know that for a long time I've liked to have rocks and dinosaur models and things on display in the background for all my reviews. And so right now I'm cleaning off my old desk, moving it out, getting this new one in here, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of talk to you guys and show you guys some of the stuff that's on my desk, because I get asked about it pretty frequently, or it gets commented on pretty frequently. Sometimes they're not questions, sometimes it's just people saying, hey, cool dinosaurs, which I appreciate, because that's what I'm aiming for, is cool dinosaurs. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty, so here's a wide shot of my desk. Normally you guys don't see this much of it. Normally you only see this part right here, and right now it's a little, what am I saying right now? My desk is always a mess. I'm always doing a million things at once, but like right now, I've been working on tinkering with some knives. The project I was working on last night before I rage quitted was fixing this Kershaw capsule. You guys might remember I reviewed this about a year ago, and the little push button spring thing came off. And I thought this was going to be an easy fix, except this screw here is stripped out, and so is the other side. And it's just been causing problems. I've been fighting with it for months at this point. I thought last night maybe I would be able to get it, but that was just wishful thinking. So I was working on that, and then I'm also pulling out some different knives here for a couple of videos that I'm working on. These are going to be appearing in some stuff that you guys are going to be seeing on the channel here pretty soon. Do a quick rundown. Here is the CJRB button lock feldspar, the Damascus version with the steel scales. Super underrated knife, guys. This is an incredible knife. The CJRB feldspar, you guys already know I love it, but this version in particular might be one of the best ones that's out there. The Civivi Zizzle. This is the new Civivi knife that is at Walmart. I'm hearing rumors that this might not be a Walmart exclusive. This might be a full production Civivi. So you guys might be seeing a review on this. I've actually been carrying this a lot recently as a backup knife when I go hiking, and this has also been the knife that I carry with me when I'm going on runs. I like to run, in case you guys didn't know. But yeah, there we go. That's one I've been kind of tinkering with. Right here, of course, is the QSP Vault. Love this knife. And here is the CJRB Shale. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview on a video that I'm working on with these guys. This, for a long time, I was going to name Knife of the Year 2024. But the Shale is a very strong competitor, and I'm struggling on which one I'm going to place there. So you guys let me know what you think. I just got done filming a review for this knife here. This is the Civivi Statira. I don't know when this video is going to be going live, but this review of the Statira is not going to be coming out until January 2025. I'm currently filming this in November. But this is a discontinued Civivi model. You can't get these anymore, sadly, but this, in my opinion, is the best knife that Civivi has ever made, and so I filmed a review for it. And we're taking way too long on this, but let's keep going. I made a video about big knives, or I'm working on a video about big knives. So we have the CJRB Frac and the Civivi Vexor, another discontinued Civivi that I absolutely love. We got some cheap knife stuff out here. SOG Adventurer LB, Camillus Rain, which is an awesome knife. I freaking love this thing so much. And the Civivi Synergy 3 review, maybe coming out by the end of this year. It's a knife that I really love. Okay, let's start talking about desk stuff. One thing I'm going to address real quick, because I get asked about these a lot, is what tools do I use for knife disassembly? Typically, I like to use Weehaw bits. I think, like, generally, by and large, in the knife community, these are the preferred bits. So this is my little Weehaw set. And then I have this little ratcheting, let's see. And then I've got this little ratcheting driver that I like to use. These stay in my desk drawer pretty much 24/7. I use these quite a bit. I've got a couple of other bit sets around. I might show you guys some of those later. One of them is actually out in the kitchen right now because I kind of have it available so that me and my roommates can all use the bits as we need to. But yeah, this set here is basically what I use for knife disassembly, and this stays with my desk. Okay, so here's kind of my main workstation. This is where I like to do reviews and stuff. Over here is always whatever books or whatever I'm working on reading. That side of the desk oftentimes just becomes cluttered with knives that I'm working on reviewing or modifying, or, I mean, I've got a bunch of bullets over here for some reason. We've got a bunch of stuff that just kind of sits over there. But this is the main kind of work section of the desk, and you can see here that I have this faux leather sheet laid out here. And the reason is because you guys actually might remember when I first got this desk. This was given to me by one of my friends' girlfriends. And the desk was nice, but it has a glass top. And that glass top is not great for filming knife reviews. It's way too reflective. It's just super annoying. You know, I wasn't a big fan of the glass top. So I got this that I laid down on top of it for knife reviews and stuff. And I feel like it worked all right. Little too dark, maybe. With this new desk, I'm hoping to really upgrade a lot about my reviews. And I hope you guys can see that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and address some of this stuff over here, because we've actually got some interesting things over here that I want to talk about.
So, this knife here, this is a little Camillus unnamed fixed blade, but I've had this out recently. I've been using and carrying this because I bought this last year in one of the Camillus holiday gift pack things, and that same gift pack is in stores right now. So, I think I'm going to give a review to the items in that pack, because honestly, they're kind of good. It came with this knife, a compass / ferro rod, a sharpener, and a tomahawk. And they're not bad. So, yeah, this little knife in particular, I really enjoy. I wish it had an actual sheet instead of just a blade cover, but expect a video on this hopefully pretty soon. I'm hoping I get this video out before the end of the year, but we'll see. Right here, this is some stuff from Awesome Hanks. I'm saving this for a giveaway. This is an American flag Hank. We got one of his stickers in there. I've actually got this the same sticker on my laptop, and I want to get this little Trivisa Andromeda with his custom scales. Cool dude. He's in El Paso. Awesome guy. Met him at a gun show, and yeah. So we've got that we're saving for a giveaway. Unopened, completely sterile and new. What do we have in here? We've got some Knick-Knacks and goodies in here. These are just some little mementos from my childhood. Got this flashlight that I reviewed last year. I've had this light for a long time. It's a good light. Honestly, I like this one a lot. It's normally in my adventuring bag, but I had it out here charging it. It's now charged, so it can go back in the adventure bag. I got my 22 shells. I like these 22 shot shells for when I'm hiking. These are great for dealing with snakes and stuff. And I like 22s for hiking guns because if shit goes sideways, I can carry 100 rounds of 22 in my bag and not even know they're there. You typically don't need that much for a survival situation, but, you know, whoops, it's light, easy to carry ammo. Okay, we've also got some of my Assassin Pearson knives over here. They sometimes sit over here while I'm doing my review, so I have them on hand. Of course, we've got our classic R2-D2 with my custom scales. And then we've got the big boy, which I've actually been carrying and using this guy. Not so much recently, but a couple months ago I was using this guy a lot. I was going to make some videos about that. I did some really interesting things with him, including fleshing an oryx hide. One of my good buddies shot and killed an oryx, and I was helping him prepare the hide because he wanted to do a project with it. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Wish I could have made a video about that. This knife is kind of interesting. I've had this one out recently because I think this one is going to be another giveaway knife. This is the Petrified Fish Victor. Really cool knife. I've had it for a long time, but I don't really carry it much anymore. I do love that it's a Bowie. It's got the blue micarta scales. In a lot of ways, this is like the perfect Gideon knife, but yeah, we'll see what I end up doing with this. That action is just so freaking good. And speaking of Petrified Fish, actually, let me show you guys something that I want to put on display when I get my new review stage set up. I don't know if I've ever shown this on the channel before, but this was given to me by a very good friend of mine. This is a fossilized fish. It's a petrified fish. Ha ha ha. This is a Knightia, which is one of the more common species of fish that you find at the Green River Formation in Wyoming. This is a world-class fossil deposit from the Eocene that is well known for its beautifully preserved fish fossils. At the museum I work at, we've got a garfish and a couple other fish, a bunch of fish actually from Green River, and yeah, I've got one of my own right here. So really, really love this. It's just a beautiful piece, and I want this to go on display when I set up the new set. All right, anything else of interest? This is the case that we got some ink cartridges in here that are leaking, which is a shame. But this came with my EDC pin. This is from Larry. Yeah, those ink cartridges kind of exploded, and I haven't figured out what to do with that yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Actually, I want to grab this real quick. This is leather dye. I am not an amazing leather worker. My dad actually is, and he's taught me a thing or two about leather work. I used to do a lot more of it when I was younger, but I kind of fell out of practice, and then I wanted to kind of get back into it. You guys will probably remember this monstrosity that I made. I made this little leather sheath for my artisan sea snake because I ruined the Kydex sheath because I'm an idiot. Great little knife, actually, but yeah, this sheath is not great. But A for effort, I guess. All kinds of ear protection from the last time I went shooting. Protect your ears, folks. That's how I know I'm getting older. When I was a kid, the two guns that I shot the most were my .22 rifle, and I had this single-shot break barrel 20 gauge. And I would shoot those things all the time with no hearing protection because I was an idiot. And now I'm regretting it. And even the little sharp ting of a .22, bothers my ears, so I got to wear the protection. You should always wear ear protection. But it's been a long time since I've actually gone shoot. Well, I went shooting kind of just recently, but I don't do as much shooting as I used to, and it's a shame because I'm getting a little bit rusty, I feel like. But, any opportunity I can, I jump at it. Also, I've got a lot of loose change around. I used to collect my loose change religiously because I had to go to the laundromat to do my laundry. My roommates and I recently received a free washing machine from some friends, and then we went and we bought a used dryer, so we don't have to go to the laundromat anymore, but I've still got all these quarters and stuff lying around. And honestly, sometimes I kind of miss going to the laundromat, There's some people there that I was friends with, but, yeah. All right, a couple more items of interest here real quick. Civivi Mastodon. Love this knife. It's a very cool knife. I reviewed this one a long, long time ago. This was actually given to me by a subscriber a long time ago. And during the testing that I was doing with this knife, I actually broke the lock a little bit. And so I was just tinkering with it, fixing it up a little bit. It works as a knife now. It's completely fine. You guys can go back and watch that video if you want to. It's an old one, but it's a cool knife because it's on washers, which I always like to see. That's pretty awesome. CGRB, Mica. Gosh, got a couple CGRBs out here. I'm working on making a CGRB collection overview, but here's my Mica. I like that knife quite a bit. Here is my, I call this my Sith feldspar. This is the blacked out with the red. I like this knife a whole lot. Very, very cool. And then we have my Knife Center exclusive CJRB Rhea. Very sweet knife. I don't carry this knife a whole lot anymore, but every time I pull it out, I'm like, I should carry this knife more. So that's a good one. I've got my OG serrated 80-20.5. Kind of a weird knife in my collection. And then we've got the Cold Steel Thin Wolf that was given to the channel by old Tonto Guy. It's another knife that is a contender to end up in a giveaway here shortly. Also, I've got a couple of these Write in the Rain pins. Now, I love Write in the Rain notebooks. I use a Write in the Rain notebook when I'm out in the field all the time. I actually need to make a review on that. But I'm not a huge fan of these pins. I've got a bunch of them. A lot of people give me these pins, and they're okay, I guess. But I don't know, I just never really liked them. They go with me out adventuring every once in a while. But what I really like to use on a Write in the Rain paper is pencil. Works amazingly, or actually permanent marker. And by the way, this permanent marker, this is part of my knife maintenance kit. This is great for putting little marks on tangs and lock bars and stuff to help you with lock stick. There's some Loctite. We'll get that cleaned up. Lip balm, very important for if you're going to be, out in the desert. Some pool chalk. I love playing pool. And I've got a Zippo lighter. This one does not have any oil in it right now, but I need to get that fixed because I'm thinking about adding a Zippo lighter to my adventure kit. Tweezers. This was a pair of tweezers. They're kind of good tweezers, but they were just slightly misaligned, and so I was working on these and bent them back into shape to where they line up again. You can see I can't get it quite perfect, but close enough. And yeah, now we can start talking about rocks.
Actually, we've got a couple of more interesting things I want to get to before we get to all of that stuff there. So this little tin that you can see, a very young Gideon wrote his name in fancy cursive on, contains something really, really special to me. And these sit on my desk most places I go. This is a chess set that my dad made for me when I was younger. These are very old. They have definitely seen better days. But this is the queen. And I'll bring out the board too. Just a wood burned board. I love chess. My dad and I used to play chess all the time. So there's our queen. Here's a bishop. Here's our king. And this is a red versus black set. Some of these probably need to be repainted. Here's a rook. There we go. Here's a knight. These guys are pretty cool. And then the pawns are just screws. But this is one of my most prized possessions. I absolutely love this chess set, and so normally the pieces sit somewhere on my desk, whichever desk I have. I have moved around quite a bit over the past couple of years. I've had a lot of different desks, but there's some things I like to keep on all of my desks, and that is one of the things.
Next, we got a couple of little knives to look at, actually. So this here is a Rough Rider small, tiny toothpick that was given to me by Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. Go check out his channel. This is a Stoneworks version, so it kind of fits my whole vibe. I really like this little knife. We do have a full review of this on the channel, but that's a cool knife, and I think it's going to become part of my decorations. And then one more knife I want to talk about. This knife was given to me by Sharpened Blade. He won this in a giveaway from Misford Knife Reviews, I believe, and he had it sent to me, and the first time it got sent to me, it did not get delivered, it got sent back, and then it got delivered again. There was a whole story, I'm not going to go into the whole thing here, but it's quite funny. But this is a Concept Hell X, and this is one of the big boy fancy ones, but this is a titanium frame lock. Very cool knife, a really cool knife, actually. I need to carry this one more, but this is one of the few premium titanium frame locks that I own. This is in S35VN. I do like the two-tone on titanium. This is a Williamson design. Yeah, it's just a pretty cool knife, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Big knife, absolutely, absolutely a beast of a knife. But yeah, this is one of those knives in my collection that's a special knife, just because of the story behind it, so it's not going anywhere. But there we go. Okay, now we can start digging into the stuff that you guys see in basically every single review that I do. And let's start off with these things, actually, because these are really cool. And these are some of the somewhat newer additions. These are a bunch of origami dinosaurs, minus the pterosaur, that were made for me by my buddy Vuong. He's been on the channel before. He is absolutely amazing at origami. I have seen him just sit down with a piece of paper at like a party or something and just make amazing creatures. One time he made an origami hand just at a party with no instructions or anything. It was absolutely crazy. But he's made me a couple of these dinosaurs, which I really, really like. This here is a Stegosaurus. We've got a sauropod of some kind of theropod, and a pterosaur, probably a pteranodon. But yeah, these are cool. These are a lot of fun. So I like keeping these on display.
All right, let's try and get through the rocks somewhat quick. I do get questions about the rock. Sometimes people ask, oh, what's that rock, or what's this one? I'm going to just talk about what the rock or mineral is, and then if there's an interesting story behind it, I'll tell a story. But about 95% of all these are things that I've personally found, and then the rest of them are things that have been given to me by friends. I do not buy rocks and minerals. Okay, that's like a thing. I don't buy them. I find them. So saving myself money. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Right here, this is a newer addition. This is a nice little agate geode that I found. Southern New Mexico, Arizona, actually, I guess, New Mexico, Arizona, Northern Mexico. Some of the best agates you'll find anywhere in the world. Oregon, Washington's got good agates. Wyoming's got some good agates. But Northern Mexico, Southwestern Arizona, and New Mexico, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. So that's one that I found. I like it a lot. Here we have some fluorite, some blue fluorite. which is pretty gorgeous, and it's cubic. Love that stuff. Here's a little piece of amethyst. I've actually got another one. Yeah, so this is amethyst is just quartz, SiO2, but it gets its purple color because it has iron inclusions, basically. Let's get this guy. This is a megalodon tooth. Otodus megalodon is the largest shark to ever live, and yeah, this is one of my favorite fossils that I have. This one was given to me. I did not find this, but yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. This here is not a fossil. This is just a clamshell I picked up down at the Rio Grande. For some reason, I don't know. I enjoyed it. This here is a little quartz dipyramid that I found, and actually I like to. These ones kind of go together because this one, a buddy of mine, I found both of these, but this one I sent to a buddy of mine, and he cleaned. Focus up, and he cleaned it up and did like a really good professional job. And then this is the one that I just kind of I scraped off a little bit of this oxide that's on the outside, but then I kind of just left it the way it is. So yeah, you can kind of see the difference there. This here, not sure why I have this. This appears to just be a piece of chert. I'm not sure why I have that. This here is a fossil coral. This is a Pennsylvanian aged coral. It's a pretty nice one. I like that quite a bit. Oh, we'll talk about this real quick. I used to work in a grocery store, and one time this gentleman was counting out his money for me. He was paying for his stuff. And he was a brand new immigrant to the United States, and he accidentally put this down instead of a quarter, and he didn't have another quarter. And so he was like really embarrassed. I told him, you know what, man, don't worry about it. I pulled the quarter out of my pocket, put it there, and I said, I'll just keep this as a souvenir. And he liked that idea, so that's what we did. But yeah, there we go. So got a good story behind it. This here. A little tiny mule deer shed, a jackalope shed. Actually, my bad. This is from a jackalope. I've got a couple of jackalope sheds. In fact, I used to have one that was. I've got it somewhere around here, or maybe it's in storage at my parents' place, whatever. But it was a really good looking little shed, and I convinced one of my ex-girlfriends that jackalopes were real, and just because I was a little shit. But I used to tease her about that all the time. I've got some little Jurassic World dinosaurs lying around. This is the Giganotosaurus from the most recent film, I think. The Jurassic World movies have been pretty terrible, but Giganotosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs. It has been since I was a kid, and my brother gave me this, and yeah, I like it. This little sail here is kind of interesting. Makes this guy look more like an Acrocanthosaurus, but you know, whatever. There we go. This here is a jawbone of a cat. There we go. We've got some fluorite. This is not a particularly spectacular piece of fluorite. I'm not sure why I chose to display that one. This is one of my hand lenses. This is one that I've used quite a bit out in the field. And it's taken quite a beating. Got a little feldspar crystal. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. So right here we've got some fluorite cubes growing around a chunk of galena, which is lead sulfide. So yeah, look how sparkly it is. I don't know. I like that piece a lot. That's actually one of my favorite pieces. This here is a little piece of aragonite. I found this down in a cave, falling off the ceiling. Another piece of amethyst. There's another agate I found. This one's okay. I like it because it's small, so it makes a good little display piece. This here's a brachipod fossil, but I like this one because you can see here the shell is like cracking apart, and then it got filled in with minerals. That's kind of cool. This is a little piece of calcite, it looks like. This is actually one of the cooler rocks that I have. This is a mantle xenolith. So this is a piece of Earth's mantle. And this is a rock called peridotite, and it's made up of a couple different minerals. We have peridote, olivine, and some pyroxenes called diopside. These are very, very rare rocks to find on the surface. They're not stable on the surface, so they weather away and decay very rapidly once they do get to the surface. But here in southern New Mexico, we actually happen to have a spot where some of those have been brought up, which is kind of cool. Let's go ahead and grab some of these rocks over here. This is more agate. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous agate. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was a nice one. This was a real nice one. And then we've got pieces here that, just if I remember how to put this puzzle piece back together. Anyways, there's there's an agate that I cracked open. This came from one of the areas where I was doing field research. I've done a lot of research on metamorphic petrology. This is a metamorphic rock. It's kind of interesting. We got all kinds of epidote up here, and then this stuff here is actinolite. Just a funky looking rock. And look at that. And this rock here is about 1.6 billion years old, which is absolutely nuts. Moving on, let's go ahead and grab this guy next. This is a piece of petrified wood. This one's been polished. This is a chunk of Araucaria from the petrified forest in Arizona. This is about 220 million years old. The Natural History Museum I work at happens to house the largest collection of petrified wood on display in the United States. So I do a lot with petrified wood. So it's only natural that I have a piece. This here is a Permian age gastropod or snail fossil that I found a few years ago. This is one of my all-time favorite fossil finds ever. The level of detail on this is exquisite. This thing's absolutely phenomenal. Fan-flippin-tastic find right there. Moving on, this is a garnet that's in some schist, which is basically a mica matrix. You can think of it like that. Garnet is my birthstone, and so I've got a soft spot for garnets. This here is some malachite, very, very vibrant green malachite, which is a copper carbonate. Like that piece a whole lot. This is a piece of maybe opal that I found a few years ago. This here, another little clam from the river, but I like this one because we've got both valves still attached. So that's cool. Next, I got this beautiful piece of druzy quartz. Look how sparkly that is. And it's sitting on top of this limestone that's also just gorgeous. Yeah, this is a really, really nice piece. Definitely going to be staying on display when I set up the new set. Some of these are not going to stay on display. Like, I have no idea why I had some of these. Like this here, this is a really lame chunk of fluorite. I don't know why I had it out here. This here, some more quartz dipyramids. I hacked this off of the ceiling of a mine here in southern New Mexico. Look at that. I mean, gosh, that's gorgeous. That is just so pretty. Absolutely spectacular. Let's go ahead and take a look at these little guys. These are some more Jurassic World minis. This here is a Pentaceratops. Pentaceratops has the record of the largest head of any land animal. Pentaceratops is from New Mexico. There's actually a couple of different ceratopsians that are similar to Pentaceratops, that they might be the same animal or very close relatives. But these include things like Titanoceratops, Terminocavus, That's one. And then, yeah, there's a bunch. New Mexico has a really, really interesting ceratopsian fossil record, but there's my Pentaceratops. I like that guy. This here is a Nasutoceratops. This is one of my favorite ceratopsians. I love Nasutoceratops. Just such a wild looking little critter. Very, very cool. Also like the paint job on that guy there. And this here is a Lystrosaurus. These were little tiny dicynodonts that lived in the Permian and the Triassic. Yeah, it's very cool. This is actually one of the best of the Jurassic World models. This one's fairly scientifically accurate. The ceratopsians also aren't bad. They've got some issues, but they're not the worst. This here is a little Compsognathus, also Jurassic Park memorabilia. This guy's kind of cool, and I like the Compsognathuses. I think one of the most memorable scenes in any of the Jurassic Park movies is in The Lost World when, I can't remember that character, but anyways, when he goes off to take a leak and then he gets attacked by compies and he'd been torturing them throughout the whole film and they eat him. That scene where the one bites his lip and rips his lip, that's gruesome, but I love it. And also when they attack the little girl at the beginning, it's pretty cool. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the book, so mild spoilers for the books. And actually, I've got a copy right here. I love Jurassic Park. Michael Crichton, absolutely love Michael Crichton. Fantastic author. But in the book, Hammond is not a tender grandfatherly character like he is in the film. He's kind of a dastardly villain, and he eventually meets his comeuppance at the hand of Compsognathuses or the compies. And I think they kind of based the death scene in The Lost World that I was just talking about. They kind of, feels to me like they kind of based that off of Hammond's death in the original book. But yeah, I love books, by the way. I got a great book collection. Most of them are in storage right now, but there's a few that I like to keep out. This is one of them. I love Jurassic Park. Michael Crichton's one of my favorite authors in general. A bunch of his books are so good. And this particular copy of Jurassic Park belonged to my dad when he was in college, so it's kind of special in that way. All right, moving on. Got some 3030 shell casings here. My dad's 3030 was like the coolest thing in the world when I was younger. Absolutely loved it. And so I guess that's why I keep some shells from it around. This little American flag on a toothpick was given me by a veteran on Memorial Day at a gas station. And it was just kind of I made a whole short about that, but it's kind of special. It's kind of neat, so I keep that around.
All right, moving on. We're going to try and run through these fast. Here's a little piece of citrine. This here is a pretty nice little brachiopod. Look at that. I've got better ones now, though, and actually, yeah, anyways. Some more of this olivine xenolith. Another brachiopod. Here's another brachiopod. I like this one. I have this fascination with rocks that break open. I have both halves, but also with this one here, you can see the cast and the mold of this brachiopod very, very nicely, and then it fits together like a puzzle piece, which is very cool. And this brachiopod is a Permian in age. Moving on, some more aragonite. Just a little bit of it. Got that hexagonal shape. This here is a little tiny piece of basalt with an olivine crystal in it right there. This here is the tooth of a Tylosaurus, and this is a Tylosaurus. These are mosasaurs. This tooth was given to me by a friend. Very, very cool critters. I want to review the Arts and Cutlery Tylos, designed by Dylan Mallory, because it's actually named after this guy right here. And so, yeah, it'd be so cool to have these, on display when I'm doing that review. But there we go. I'm going to set this guy over here for now. This here is a piece of sodalite that was given to me by another friend. Sodalite's a kind of cool mineral. I like my blue minerals. This here's a cast of a velociraptor claw. My dad gave me this. This here is actually, this is kind of random but really fun. This is a chunk of quartz, but you see that right there? That's a garnet, and that's a garnet. We already talked about how I feel about garnets, but I found this in a wash in the arroyo at my parents' ranch, and all the rocks around the area where I found this are all very, very young volcanic rocks, but this was eroded from the Rocky Mountains further upstream from Precambrian rocks, probably, and yeah, so that's pretty cool. Here's another little brachiopod. This is a different species than we've seen before. I like this one quite a bit. It's a very cool fossil. He's complete. We've got both valves, which is awesome. This here is a chunk of strawberry quartz on barite. Very, very cool. We've also got this coating by the secondary oxide, but it's, I don't know, it looks cool. I like that piece a lot. Another brachiopod. This here is a Jurassic Age ammonite. It's also given to me by a friend. 50 cal bullet, or casing, little brachiopod. This one's gorgeous. I mean, look at the texture on that. Oh my gosh. Grab these here. This is another little piece of agate and chalcedony. This is a really cool little Neospirifer brachiopod. Look at that guy. And then this is a piece of quartz. It's what I call a quartz tooth. Found that out at Apache Point. This is a piece of welded tuff. I think a lot of the items I put out here, I just put out here just to say that I've got them. This is really cool. This is a big mica book I pulled out of a pegmatite. It's pretty awesome. Love that a whole lot. This here is from my research area, and this is a chunk of schist with a bunch of garnets in it. Because, of course, garnets. Oh, this brachiopod is really, really cool. Love the texture on that guy. This here is a little chunk of amazonite. This here is some azurite. Very, very cool piece of azurite. This is a nice little brachiopod you can see here. Very, very fine detail, and he's hollow on the inside. So I like that. Some of the pieces I like to put out on display here are just weird ones. Here's another brachiopod that's a different species. Very cool. Little tiny chinoid stem. Some kyanite. Again, me and blue minerals. Love kyanite. There's a spot up in the mountains where I grew up where you can find a bunch of kyanite. Chunk of pyrite. And then these are going to be fluorite. And this one's a nice little, prism, which is very cool. This one here, I like because of the limestone that's sitting on. If I put a light on here, it just looks really cool. So there's that. And then over here, this is a fossil leaf from the Cretaceous period. That's pretty awesome.
And we're almost done. This little box here is full of vanadite crystals. They're very tiny, but a lot of those are really, really gorgeous and just very, very special. I find those at one of my favorite mines here in the area, which is pretty awesome. Also, I have out here a lot of time my Opinel number, what is this, 7, I think? Yeah, but, or 6, no, this is a 6. But I like I like Opinel knives. Eat your heart out, metal complex, I guess. We've also got some sharpening gear over here. I don't use this gear as much anymore. There's my Lansky sharpener. These are great for like kitchen knives and making quick fixes. Also, I've got my CRKT Razel fixed blade. Very cool fixed blade. I've been working on making this thing a new sheath because I don't really like the sheath it comes with. But, that's been one of the projects that's, way, way down the list of all the things I'm doing right now. We've also got this sharpener, and I have another piece of Triassic petrified wood on top of there. It's gorgeous. Man, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I use this sharpener actually quite a bit. I do a lot of maintenance on my fixed blades with this sharpening system. It's a pretty good one. So most of my sharpening, though, on my pocket knives, I do with my Precision Adjust from Work Sharp or my field sharpener. That also does a lot of maintenance for me. So let's talk about some of these models. This is a deer. This was given to me by my youngest brother one Christmas, and so I keep it out here. This here is a Pteranodon, and actually, you know what? We're going to talk about this first, and then we'll talk about all the models kind of in one. Oh, this is. I use this on the channel quite a bit to zoom in on things. This is a it's a magnifying glass that has a stand. I've got a couple different lenses I can swap out. They're sitting over there right now. Very, very useful tool. This little Polaroid is a picture of me and my cousin Austin, and this was taken the summer after I graduated high school, and it was taken by his, at the time, girlfriend and now wife, who was one of my best friends in high school. I like this picture a lot. This is very, very cool. Me and Austin, we're technically third cousins, but if you ask any of us or either of us, we'll probably just tell you that we're brothers. Very, very close growing up. We got into all kinds of trouble. Most of the times I almost died in high school had something to do with him. We were getting up to some kind of shenanigans. But he's been on the channel a couple times. He's a badass. He worked at the time that this picture was taken. Actually, he'd been working for a couple of years as a logger. Just a real cool guy. Yeah, I got a lot of stories I tell with Austin. I miss him. We don't see him as much as I used to. Of course, we live, way far away from each other these days. But yeah, I like to keep this picture on my desk. It's a good one. Okay, let's talk about these models. So I've got a couple of different models here. So we're going to put these ones off to the side. These guys right here are kind of Hell Creek Formation classics. The Hell Creek Formation is located up in Montana and the Dakotas, and it's where we find a lot of our most classic Cretaceous-aged dinosaurs. This rock layer was put down at the very end of the Cretaceous, right before the extinction event. So we've got things like Ankylosaurus, which this is Ankylosaurus. These are all made by Safari Ltd., one of my favorite dinosaur model companies. Their sculptor over there, Doug Watson, he's got an incredible attention to detail. These models are very, very detailed. I mean, look at all of that texturing. He has a respect for scientific accuracy, so he makes sure that all of his models align with current scientific understanding of these creatures, and I really, really appreciate that. So there's our Ankylosaurus. This is a Pteranodon. I really, really love this Pteranodon sculpt. I love the colors on the crest. This guy, he's in his walking position, which is unusual for pterosaur models. A lot of times people put them in flying positions, but I like that one because it's a little bit different. Triceratops, of course, a classic badass dinosaur. Doug Watson ceratopsians are some of my favorite dinosaur models. I have a box actually sitting in my closet right now that has a bunch of ceratopsians made by Safari Ltd, and they're all just fantastic. They're phenomenal. Some of my favorite models ever. Here is an Edmontosaurus. This is also a great model. Hadrosaurs are severely underrated. These are such amazing creatures, and they kind of look plain, so they don't get made into a lot of figures, but Edmontosaurus was definitely a crazy, crazy cool dinosaur. And then we have this T-Rex here, and this guy is covered in feathers. Now, was T-Rex this covered in feathers in life? Probably not to this extent, but I love the sculpt here. This guy looks so cool. This is a massive, massive model. I need to clean him up a little bit, but yeah, very, very cool model. Love that head sculpt. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so I like to have all those ones because it's kind of Cretaceous age dinosaurs. They're all from the same unit, same formations. Very, very cool to me to have them all there. I wish I had enough models to recreate like a New Mexico version of the same thing. I have an amazing Coelophysis that's made by Safari, which is amazing. That's the state dinosaur in New Mexico. But I kind of want to focus on some of New Mexico's Cretaceous dinosaurs. We have the Kirtland and Fruitland formations, and we've got some incredible animals out of there, but they're not as popular to the public as T-Rex and things, so they don't get made into creatures or into models. I've got a couple of rocks here. These are Cretaceous age rocks from the Crevasse Canyon formation, and these have leaves in them. So this is dinosaur aged sandstone. And then I also have this Camarasaurus, which this is a Jurassic age dinosaur, one of the most common dinosaurs found in the Morrison Formation, and the Morrison Formation does appear in New Mexico. It crops out here in New Mexico, so There's been some Camarasaurus fossils found in Mexico. In fact, the oldest North American sauropod fossil is from New Mexico, and it's a Camarasaurus supremus, I think, which is very, very cool. And then we've got an Allosaurus here. This was the guy that would hunt and eat these things. We've got Allosaurus fossils here in New Mexico. We also have in New Mexico fossils of an animal similar to this, but larger, called Saurophagonax, which is pretty cool. It's probably another species of Allosaurus. So right now it's Saurophagus maximus, probably Allosaurus maximus instead of Allosaurus fragilis, which is the more common Allosaurus species. But there we go. And then over here I have this Schleich caprasuchus. This was given to me by one of my siblings, and this one's caprasuchus is a kind of cool little critter. This model's kind of fun too. This is one of the few good Schleich models. A lot of their stuff is kind of cartoony and weird, but yeah, this was a crocodilian that lived in the Cretaceous, and yeah, in Africa, North Africa, I believe. But yeah, very, very cool little critter. And then I have my TIE Interceptor model. You guys know I love Star Wars. And those boxes back there have little Star Wars knickknacks in them. But I think that's what we're going to end the tour right here. I'm going to go ahead and get the new desk set up and get my new background set up and see what you guys think. Alrighty, guys. So here's the finished set or stage. It's my reorganized desk that I know by the time this video comes out, you guys will have already seen this set up in a lot of different reviews, but you know, my video scheduling kind of demanded that. But here's what we're looking at. I guess we'll pull out for a little bit, give you guys a better view of that. You can see that there's still some clutter over here. I guess we'll get to that. But here's the desk. Pretty cool little desk, in my opinion. We've got some neat features here, such as this little table that pulls out, which I realize you cannot see. So let me move this back. This little table that pulls out here, I've got some knives sitting here right now just to show you kind of what I'm going to be using this for. That's very handy for when I'm filming reviews and such. But let's go ahead and go over the set here, what I decided to keep and what went. Actually, first, before we get into that, one thing I'm kind of excited about is this overhead light. We'll see how useful that becomes for filming and stuff, but I think I think it's kind of cool to have it at least. As far as the things that I decided to keep on the set, as well as some new additions. We've got a big chunk of agate here and here. This is an epidote crystal that I think is really cool. It's kind of split in half. This big quartz chunk actually up here. This is a quartz crystal I found a couple months ago, and I spent a long time cleaning it up, and you can see it turned out really, really spectacularly. That might be added to the set eventually. And this is subject to change. We'll call this an evolving exhibit, perhaps, but I've got a lot of things like this agate right here, which is just gorgeous, that I might want to add in here. Again, this stuff will probably change around. We've got some peridotite. We've got a little deer antler. We've got an antelope horn back here. Pteranodon, Darth Vader there in the back. I swapped Darth Vader out I swapped this guy out for Darth Vader. This is my TIE Interceptor that used to be there. The top shelf here is kind of a work in progress, but that's less important for videography. We've got a couple things here that are kind of neat, I guess, like this little rugose coral fossil here. You might see like that shiny spot. I found this guy in pieces, and I'm trying to glue them back together. This bag is full of fossils I found. We got some knives up here. There's Civivi hadros, Civivi odium, some other odds and ends up here. 50 cal bullet card from Fossil Crates. I met the guy, the paleontologist that runs that. He gave me that. Got some stuff up here. This is the Cody Lego helmet and this Brachiosaurus were given to me by my sisters for Christmas, so they've got to be part of the set, right? And here's some more quartz from the same place where I found this that I'm waiting to get cleaned up and stuff. This here is a Collecte model of a Beastie Heaversauр, which is a species of Tyrannosaurid from New Mexico. And I just dropped something. One of my favorites for obvious reasons. He might move down there. Anyways, this is, under construction, but it's not as important. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, some of my favorite dinosaur books ever, The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Broussat. It's amazing. And then this is a classic, The Dinosaur Heresies by Robert Bakker. Revolutionized dinosaur science. Oh, and then this is a really excellent leaf fossil that I'm trying to find a stand for so I can move it somewhere. But anyways, that all is less important. Moving on here, I kept a lot of the Hell Creek fossil dinosaur models here. We've got a couple little Dimetrodons crawling around. These are Jurassic World minis, but I like them. They're sitting there on that big piece of agate. Got a piece of fire agate from Arizona. This is a fossil leaf I found up in central New Mexico. That's from the Cretaceous. Got a kind of cool little hidden item here. This is Andro. This is Aragorn's sword, the one that was reformed from the shards of Narsil from the Lord of the Rings. That was given to my mom by one of her students. She's an English teacher, and she gave it to me. A lot of the same smaller minerals that we've seen. This fish back here is from the Green River Formation, which is an Eocene lake deposit from Wyoming. That was given to me by a good buddy. Got a Velociraptor claw. I think I already talked about that. I decided to make this Rough Rider Trapper a part of the permanent display. That I got that from Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. Shout out to him, and I guess kind of a salute to him. And then we've got, some other stuff. I had this glue out for some reason. I'm not sure what I was doing with that. We already talked about the origami dinosaurs I got from my buddy Vlong. I think that's about it. That's worth talking about there. This here's a chunk of amethyst and crystal quartz that I found. Again, same place those and that other piece came from that I am working on cleaning up. I want to talk a little bit about the pictures here. Excuse the tripod work. All right. There we go. So a lot of these are kind of fun pictures. Get my laser pointer out here. Can you guys see that? So this picture, this is me and two of my good buddies when we did field camp for geology. It's one of the best classes you can take for your geology degree. It's one of the last classes you take before you graduate. That was a really, really fun time. So it's good memories there. This picture here, of course, that's me and my family, my siblings, my parents, my grandparents. This here is me in Austin. This was taken by, I think I already told a story about this, but this was taken in Austin's room shortly after I graduated high school, I think. This here's a picture that I took a couple years ago. This is some of my family's property up in northern New Mexico. I think it's beautiful. This is a picture of me out in the field that was taken by one of my friends. And actually that was taken in the same place during the same expedition where I found this leaf fossil right here. So what we're looking at right here are some Cretaceous sedimentary rocks that are cropping out in an arroyo. And right here I'm actually looking at a kind of shale member that was rich in petrified wood. Right here is one of the first geologic maps I made using GIS programming, which is pretty cool. And this is a map of northern New Mexico. So just to kind of put everything into perspective, I didn't put towns or anything on here, but this is kind of the area where I grew up. This right here is San Antonio Mountain, which is actually this mountain right here. This little orange speck is actually the Red Hill, which is right there. Going over here, these are the Sangre de Cristos. So Taos is right around here. The Tusas Mountains. This is the Taos Volcanic Field. So really, really cool spot. Over here, this is another picture from field camp. This is me and my entire class. It's a pretty awesome outcrop of Cretaceous sandstone here. And then this was a picture, you can't really see it that well, but this was a picture that was taken by a very good friend of mine here in southern New Mexico. Looking out that way is Bishop's Cap. These are the Bishop's Cap Hills, as they're called, and I'm actually standing in this big kind of cave out in Pena Blanca, but I think that's a really, really cool photo, so I've got that right there. And there will be other photos added, and maybe some of these will be taken down and swapped around, and things like that. And that right there is a thing of hot chocolate that I was going to make this morning and forgot. So there's that. Over here, I guess we'll talk about this a little bit. Of course, we've got the size comparison knives. They basically live here. A bunch of flash drives for some video editing stuff. Some other rocks and agate pieces that I'm trying to move around, figure out where they're going to go. Some more little dinosaur figures. They're probably just going to go back in a box. But we've also got a sneak peek at some upcoming content, by the way, actually. This is a flashlight I've had for a long time, but I'm thinking about giving it a full review. This is from Coast. Pretty cool little flashlight. This knife here, this is a SOG Magnadot folder right there. And I'm also working on making a video on folding knives that you carry in belt sheaths. So keep an eye out for that. A Gerber Freeman, we're going to be reviewing that shortly. So yeah, there's just some sneak peeks, I guess. And I think that's about all I have to say. This is actually an interesting item. This is an 8-foot by 6-foot map, geologic map of New Mexico that I used to have hung above my bed, but it didn't want to stay there. It kept falling off. And I wanted to have it as a backdrop for some of my videos, but I'm having trouble finding a place to put it, so it's just kind of sitting there for now. And I've got a bunch of these posters sitting around, and yeah, anyways. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Kind of a different video, I know, a long time in the making. Oh, and I guess I might as well address, you guys see these books in every video I make, but these are some of my favorite books ever. You can buy these online. Really, really just awesome guides to the geology of New Mexico. Good stuff in here. These are kind of, I jokingly call these my Bibles, because a lot of times I'll base some of the adventures I do off of things I see in these books. You know, look at me ideas for places I want to go and things I want to see. And so I do that. But there's for northern New Mexico, and then here's the one for southern New Mexico. Yeah, all kinds of beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Oh, look at this actually. Nogal Peak. I made a video about climbing that. Anyways, that's be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to my channel members at the Cowboy level. I appreciate everything they do for the channel. If you want to become a channel member and support me, I really appreciate it. There's a link down below. As for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.